I've been about all morning unloading all the stuff out of this truck that I got yesterday. The major reason I went to Farmington was for that 383 right there. So my plan is I'm going to try to drag it back some, check it out a little bit, maybe throw a battery on it. It's a 65 model, so it's got a distributor, coil, and points. It might just fire up sitting right there in the back of the truck. Wouldn't that be nifty? Let's see what we can do. Might be good enough. I knew it was a 383. I knew it was out of the Newport. He said it. He has not heard it run, but it's got oil in it, and the oil's not really that bad. I didn't even see if it was stuck or not, because if it is stuck, I know how to rebuild it. Got all the wires, I can tell. I better take that belt, that power steering belt off there. Or whenever it does fire up, it may start shooting fluid everywhere, if it's got any fluid in it. That dude's heavy. It's like heavy as a big block or something. Ooh, that make an evil noise. Fan's not bolted to the clutch. Alright. Well, here's what I got. I went ahead and took the fan off because it was loose. I just left this little doo-doo belt on. It doesn't really matter. Cut that belt for the alternator and air conditioner and power steering. Cut those two belts. The engine does, I can put a ratchet on it. She's free. Very nice. Got me a hot wire ran to the positive side of the coil. The negative side is still hooked to the distributor. I did check that. I didn't pull the cap off yet. I thought I may try it and see what it does anyway. Oil pressure gauge hooked up here in the back. A little short hot wire there. I think it's about to touch my, yeah, let me move that. And I just left this one hooked up, so if I do that, she turns over pretty good. I'll try to set this where I can see it. This is some gasoline left over from the Hayden engine build. And I'll get it in our, if I can't fill up the vent tubes and the old Carter. Safety first, of course. disconnect that coil wire so it don't want to light me up. Alright, so I had to quit playing games, get this 383 unloaded the other day, and I just stepped back to it today. Here, it's got a little kink, there it goes. So it's less kink there. I pulled the dipstick, it's showing on the dipstick. The engine oil is showing on the dipstick, pretty good. The distributor that was in this was points, but it had some, it looked like some part store points from Mexico or something. I was not getting any fire out of the distributor itself. So I went ahead and pulled it out. I've got this DUI here, or I bought it with some other stuff, but I've never tried it before. It's for 383 or 400. So I had some questions about the 413 build on that first fire up, and like, how did you go about doing that or whatever. So I have no idea. I just dropped this distributor in. I don't know what the timing's on, anything like that. So I've got my starter button, which is just this switch. I got the number 1 plug out. I'm gonna stick my finger in the hole right there. So that was a compression stroke, and I can actually stick this plug back in. It's an old dirty Champion, but it'll probably fire fine for us. I'm gonna leave it out for just a minute so I can check for spark. So there's my timing pointer. There's a a 0, a 10, and then another mark past the 10. So probably 15 is just not listed on there. What I'm going to do with this, we just hit compression. So I'm taking and I'm backing that up. I went ahead and put a mark of spray paint on my, there we go. Put it on my balancer there. So hopefully you can see that line is lined up with the 10. Now, I go up here and I find my rotor. So the rotor's pointing right here. This one does have a mechanical advance. You can see it. Very light springs in it, and it will advance that much. So this should be fine. The other day, the distributor I had was locked out. So when I started it on 10 degrees and I revved it, it stayed on 10 degrees, and that caused my headers to glow. So now this is on 10 degrees. I can put my cap on and wire my number 1. So that'll be my number 1. So I'll just stick that plug wire on so I won't forget. Pop these others off. Come back. And lock my cap down. So like I said, we're going counterclockwise. This is 1, here's 8. My wires are kind of mismatched. 4, 3, right there. 1, 8, 4, 3, 6, 5, and 7. Might have to extend it a little. And number 2. Right there. So, wires are on. Distributor. Seems like it's pretty tight right now. That's okay. I just got one hot wire ran here. One hot wire ran to this. It just says battery. It's stuck in there. Plugged on. The coil's built into the cap. Don't have to worry about that. Plugged in. I don't have a tack right now for this. I've got my oil pressure gauge hooked up here. I'll stick this plug in my new number 1 wire. Only thing worse than a new Champion is an old Champion plug, but that's okay. So I will leave that right there. I can hook up my hot wire here. So all I'll do in a minute is yank it off when I'm on the motor. Alright, so I went ahead and threw my good Edelbrock 750 on here that I know is good to go. I can find another vacuum cap for that, but currently this is like wide open. So stick a bolt in it, plug that off. Mike can actually just bend it over. Oh, that's custom. Okay. Anyway, I filled the bowls up on this, so we got some squirt action going here. And should be ready to try her again. I didn't mess with the plugs. I left those alone. I know this carb's good and it'll get fuel to it, so let's try that and see what happens. Oh, she's thinking about it. Told you I was going to plug that off. Let it set a minute. See if I can find a couple plugs. These 4 spark plugs are clean now. This is basically what they looked like. They were wet and black. So I'm going to set it down here, see if it'll start up. Oh yeah, she's rocking and rolling now. On 30 pounds. I'll call that good enough. Alright, so my plans with this engine, I'm thinking about go ahead and pull the valve covers, pull the heads. I'll get the heads checked out. I've got a good new aluminum intake I got from Herman. May throw it on here, just maybe a small cam upgrade, keep it hydraulic probably. I'll do some port work on these heads after I get them checked out. So y'all get to see the big block porting video hopefully. And let's see what else. I may go ahead and pull the pan so I can look at those bearings, be sure they're not, none of that's messed up, the crank's good and all that. While I'm there, check out the cylinders. It's not but a small step to knock the pistons out, look at the rings and stuff. I don't want to run this if the rings are seized up around the pistons, so I'll just, you know, when I dig into it, I'll see what I need. But this might be a really good engine for some kind of A-body somewhere. I'll have to find one, maybe. Think about that. But I appreciate y'all watching. I'm just going to squirt a little more gas in it. It might have a little bit. Let's see. Yeah, still got a little gas in it. I'll fire it up one more time. Try to move my camera back so you can hear it run a little better, and I appreciate y'all watching. And there it is. I appreciate y'all watching. There's a little more Mopar music for you. And I'll catch you next time.